Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Eagle Field for tonight's Game 2 of the Bi-District Playoff between the Georgetown Eagles and the Alamo Heights Mules. I'm Wally Harmon alongside Kelly DeVoll. Kelly, Game 1, the Eagles go into Alamo Heights' own Mule Yard, take care of business, a 3-0 win behind a great pitching performance by Nick Silva. And here we sit with an opportunity to sweep this series and move on to the next round of the playoffs.
I'm excited for tonight. It's a beautiful night out here at Eagle Field. If you're listening and you're driving this way, hurry and get here because the crowd's filling up fast. It's going to be a beautiful night, and looking forward to a good game tonight. Hopefully the Eagles can close this out tonight.
First and foremost, want to give some credit and a good shout-out to our buddy, the Bearded Wonder, for the graphics tonight you see upon your screen right now. We love that. Kelly threw this together with permission from the Bearded Wonder, and we always love to give him shout-outs. What work he does for this school and around it. The talent that man has behind the lens of a camera is second to none. And so I haven't seen him in a while, and so I love to give shout-outs to the Bearded Wonder. We love working with all that work that he does, man. He's got a piece of magic in his hands every time he gets at an athletic event. So, but tonight, Game 2, Game 1, Nick Silva, 82 pitches. And I'm going to go back to it because I don't think he got enough credit on the Twitter feed talking about his performance. And it was 6 strikeouts. I had him at 7 strikeouts, I thought. Nick Silva goes all 7 innings, scattered 4 hits, struck out 6, only walked 2, and threw 82 pitches. What kind of performance could you ask for any more than that from what – 1A, 1B, 1-2. What's your starter situation? You've got a Jacob Haddon that's sitting here ready to go tonight. But you throw out Nick Silva, one of the senior pitchers, and he says, hey, bullpen, relax. 82 pitches, I'll strike out 6, I'll only walk a couple. And the defense said what? Here we are, put us to use. 2 huge double plays. I saw a baseball recap on a San Antonio news show last night that someone tweeted out today, and it talked about 2 double plays turned by the Eagle defense in the first 2 innings were huge to shut down any kind of Mule attack early on in the ballgame.
Well, last night when we got the lineup card, we were surprised to see Silva in there. We figured first game they're going to start Haddon, and Silva came in and just pitched a gem. I mean, it was phenomenal. The smile on his face when I was interviewing after the game, you could tell he was very pleased with how well he pitched. The entire team was. And tonight, we're throwing, I guess you'd label him the ace of the staff. He's thrown more innings than anybody. He's had a phenomenal season, and Haddon is I guess, the ace of the staff if you really have to pick one. And, throwing our ace to try to lock this thing out tonight.
Last night in San Antonio at the Mule Yard, the Eagles took on the ace of this Mule staff in Edward Hart, a commit to Duke University. Earlier in the season, we were talking to one of the local recruiters and reporters talking about Hart was clocked earlier in the season in the spring at that 91-mile-an-hour area. He set a scout last night, caught him pretty much 86 to 88. No matter what, he's a formidable opponent who was throwing gas last night, changing pitches up. No wonder, no surprise he's going to a big school at Duke. One, that speaks about that young man's talent in academics to be going to a school like Duke University, but 2, at a D1 school like that in the ACC as on a full ride to play baseball. Tonight, they come with James Sobey, the third baseman, last night in last night's game, and Hart moves over to first base. But the Eagles able to get on top of that starter and that ace for this Mule team early on in the ball game. E.J. Davis, the second baseman, steps up and knocks in the first run, which ended up being the game-winning run, the double in the second inning that scored Zach Zavala all the way from first base. And that seemed to be the difference right there, but the Eagles weren't done. 6th inning, they had a couple more on, a single and a double, got the bases to second and third, and then a Riley Leininger, designated super sophomore there. The designated hitter puts a single into right field and scores both runs. What an opportunity there. Coach Viero and Coach Payne called it immediately as soon as Bell got the double. He gave the old whirlwind sign like, hey, pinch runner. Jacob Faltasek comes in and scores easily from second base on the single to right field.
Yeah, and it was a clutch performance. You got a clutch pitching performance on the mound, and then you had some timely hits that came in. You didn't see the bats that you've seen before from this Georgetown team, but one would have been enough last night, and we got more than that. Tonight, these Mules aren't quitting. I heard conversations after the game while we were picking up last night that they are coming in here tonight expecting to win this ball game. So Georgetown has to play fundamental baseball tonight. Pitching's got to be solid. You got to hit the strike zone, let them put the ball in play, and you let your defense take care of you.
Hart threw a complete game for the Mules last night, 106 pitches. He only allowed 6 hits, but most importantly, he gave up the 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and then he struck out 4, walked 2, hit 1 batter. That big key there of the unearned run was the game-winning RBI. Zach Mazik reached base on an error by the shortstop Angelo to get on base. That's where Zach Zavala, I apologize.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Zach Zavala came in, the courtesy runner for the catcher Mazik, and he scored on the double to center field by E.J. Davis all the way from first base. So that unearned run right there hurt him. But you got to love it. The Eagles put up 6 hits against a D1 pitcher.
Yeah.
And you have some athletes on this team as well. You talk about Zachary Mazik, the commit to Baylor. You talk about Zach Zavala, the commit to Houston. You talk about 3 or 4 players on this team committed and going to Concordia, staying local. Reese Bell going into Arkansas. Daniel Howe going up into Michigan and playing at a smaller school. And so a lot of these players going to that next level, not scared and intimidated by a big pitcher like Hart last night, and did what they had to do to get the job done.
And Hart threw a game last night that would have beat a lot of teams.
Absolutely.
Because he threw a very, very good ball game last night. I told their coach after the game, shook his hand, congratulated him. Hart threw a gem as well last night. We just came out on top of that. I don't know, as little as I know about Alamo Heights, I don't know that they have another pitcher that can come close to what Hart did, but we'll see. The key tonight for Georgetown is going to be get on these pitchers early, be aggressive at the plate, and see if you can get to the bullpen, which, you know, talking to the guys that we have talked to from Alamo Heights, they said they don't have pitching depth. And they've got a first-year head coach, new head coach. They've gone farther than a lot of people expected them to go, and they do not want it to end tonight. But Georgetown's just got to put the ball in play.
Speaking about going further than you expect people to go, academics. Academics, education, an important factor here in these student athletes. And I think that's why it's said that way, Kelly. Student athletes.
Right.
The student has to come first. You've got some slides that talk about that today. Coach Vieira put that out there, proud of his players that are recognized as academic all-state. Let's take a look at those.
Several members of this Georgetown Eagles baseball team, including some of the support staff, earned academic all-state honors. On second team, academic all-state, you have Landon Heil, the senior, and Alyssa Stock, who is one of the athletic trainers. Then honorable mention, you have number 17, Daniel Howe. He's a senior. And number 9, Nick Silva, pitcher last night. He's also a senior as well. Other honorable mentions from Georgetown Eagles baseball, Ty Klaus Keismore and Wade Denton, as well as Dylan Jones, one of the stat girls, and senior Scott Beam. And very proud of these players and these support staff girls who have earned academic all-state recognition, and we would be remiss if we didn't give them a shout-out tonight and offer our congratulations to them for fine academic performance.
Absolutely, and it just shows that the work being put into the classroom as well as on the practice field. Speaking on the field, Georgetown Lady Eagles softball on the road tonight on a neutral site for a one-game take-all in round 2 of the playoffs. They start at 7 p.m., and so we're cheering on the Lady Eagles softball team. They swept through the first round over Buda Johnson, 2-0, but tonight became the one-game playoff in the second round. The winner takes all in a one-game shake. And so the Lady Eagles on the road tonight, I think somewhere in South.
They're in San Antonio.
I can't remember where it was. I saw the tweets earlier, and it was cool.
I think they're in San Antonio.
The send-off, the Georgetown Police Department escorting the bus as it left the school property and getting them on a good send-off to get those girls off to their playoff performance. So best of luck to the Lady Eagles softball team tonight as they play. Tonight, the Georgetown Eagles host the San Antonio Alamo Heights Mules here in Game 2 of the Bi-District Playoff. A win for your Eagles sends this playoff series to an end. It ends at 2-0, and the Eagles advance and end the season for Alamo Heights. Should Alamo Heights come in tonight and steal the game, we'll be on the road tomorrow. Game 3 will be at 3 p.m., I believe it is, at Kerrville-Tybee High School in Kerrville, Texas. So we'll be on the road early in the morning. if that happens to go play game 3.
Let's just skip that.
I would love to just get this over, and these boys would love to get this over and enjoy their weekend and move on to round number 2. Let's go to some other matchups here that all start tonight. We were talking last night. Rob Hipp was listening in, one of the owners of SHN Sports, before Huntsville plays Hallisville tonight. And so Rob was listening in, but different playoff matchups here for these two districts represented here tonight, District 25 and District 26. The runner-up in District 25, the Cedar Park Timberwolves, they take on the Dripping Springs Tigers. They finished 3rd in District 26. Game 1 tonight at Cedar Park at 7 p.m., and then Game 2 for that series is tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Dripping Springs, with Game 3 30 minutes thereafter if necessary. And then the 3rd seed in District 25, the Liberty Hill Panthers, they take on the runner-up of District 26, the Buda Johnson Jaguars. Tonight, Game 1 is at Buda Johnson at 7 p.m., and then Game 2 tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Liberty Hill High School, with Game 3 to follow with 30 minutes after if necessary. And then the final matchup, and this is the one that it really intrigues me the most, Kelly. The winner of District 26, the New Braunfels Canyon Cougars, 22-6 overall, 13-3 in District 26 play, take on the 4th seed, 14th state-ranked Rouse Raiders, who are 21-8-1 and 10-6 and 10-4 in district play. I think that series is just going to be some phenomenal baseball. It starts out at Rouse tonight at 7 p.m., and then it moves to Canyon High School in New Braunfels tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Game 3, 30 minutes after Game 2 if necessary. But I think all these matchups could be very intriguing between those teams. A lot of beating up of their own people here in District 25 between these 4 teams that all shared a district championship.
Well, we've talked all season about how tough this district is. We're going to find out. If the district sweeps, then it is what we said it was. If it didn't, then we're the ones who are mistaken about the quality of baseball in this district. But I really don't think we're mistaken.
The Alamo Heights Mules come into this ball game 15-15-1 on the season. And they have a 10-6 record in district play. They are coached by first-year head coach Joey Boyd. Assistant coaches Colton Hermes, Billy Kraft, Todd Dorgan, and Mario Guerra. They represent 5A Region 4 District 26. They are the 4th seed out of that district. Their starting lineup tonight will go this way for the Mules. Batting first and playing shortstop, a senior, number 1, Bennett Angulo. We'll get that correct. It just came up to the booth. Bennett Angulo leads it off playing shortstop. The second batter is a senior. The pitcher tonight, number 5, James Sobey. Batting third and playing first base, number 15, Edward Hart. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 8, Holden Carter. Batting fifth and catching, number 13, Bruno Robles. Batting sixth and playing right field, number 27, Will Broderick. Batting seventh and playing second base, number 6, Jackson Duffin. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 4, Parks Zunker. And batting ninth and playing center field, number 11, Corbin Gunter. The third baseman for the Mules is Sam Alfonson, the junior, number 23. He is being pinch hit or designated hit for by Holden Carter. So the top third of the Mule lineup, Angelo, Sobey, and Hart. The middle third, Carter, Robles, and Broderick. The bottom third, Duffin, Zunker, and Gunter. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back and go over the starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles. You're listening to Eagle Baseball here on SHN Sports.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
What does the 50th anniversary of Title IX mean? It means I'm valued, I'm empowered, I can do anything. It means I'll pave the way for every girl who plays high school sports in the future, just like every female student, coach, official, and administrator blazed the trail for me. because every student deserves the opportunity to play. Encourage girls you know to participate in Texas high school sports.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Championships starting Wednesday, June 8th at UFCU Dish-Falk Field in Austin, Texas, and the Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org.
Back here live at Eagle Field for tonight's by-district playoff ground game 2. Game 1 went the way of your Georgetown Eagles 3-0 last night on the road at Mule Yard at Alamo Heights High School. Tonight, the Mules come in to take on the Eagles. Scenario pretty simple. The Eagles victorious, the Eagles advance to the next round. The Mules victorious, we go to game 3 tomorrow at Kerrville-Tivy. The Georgetown Eagles will come into the ball game with the following starting lineup tonight. Head coach Jordan Vieira in his 3rd year as the head coach, 7th year on the staff, an alumnus of Georgetown High School. His assistant coaches we'll go over in just a second. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles. Leading things off and playing in the catcher position is the senior, number 19, Zachary Mazik. Batting second and playing second base, the senior, number 2, E.J. Davis. Batting third and playing right field, senior, number 6, Landon Heil. Batting fourth and playing first base, we like to call him the Tank, but we'll call him Reese Bell. Batting fifth and playing third base, the lockdown hot spot third baseman, the senior, number 5, Logan Smith. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, the super sophomore, number 20, Riley Leininger. Batting seventh and playing shortstop, none other than the junior, number 21, Eli Hellman. Batting eighth and playing left field, one of the speedsters in the outfield, a senior, number 3, Ty Klaus Keismore. And batting ninth, the speed demon in center field that we like to watch run and chase down balls, the senior, number 16, Andon Petty. On the mound for your Eagles tonight is number 10, Jacob Haddon, the senior pitcher. He comes in with a 6-2 record, an ERA of 2.19, 42 strikeouts, 6 walks. He's hit 2 batters and a whip of 1.149. His last performance, Kelly, maybe second to none on the season, a complete game appearance against the Cedar Park Timberwolves to get these Eagles a share of the district championship and the number 1 seed.
And he was locked down that night. We need it tonight.
Other members of the Eagles staff, the assistant coaches, are Chad Payne, David Durrell, Robert Hom, and Barry Johnson. I was talking to I think it was Barry Johnson the other day. I said, "Are we going to see you more?" He said, "I mean, JV season's over, but I'll probably be scouting." So even the coaches, when their teams are done, put in quite the work for the Eagles. Now the rest of the staff that helps out here on the Eagle team will go to Kelly.
So the stat girls for your Eagles are Grace King and Carter Campbell. And those girls do a lot of work. They set up the cameras for the coaches as well and are highly involved, not just keeping statistics. Also, Dylan Jones is one of the statisticians as well. Athletic trainers are Macy Denson and Alyssa Stockin. We so appreciate the work that these girls do to support Georgetown Eagle baseball.
The superintendent of Georgetown School District, Dr. Fred Brent, high school principal of the Georgetown High School here in Georgetown, Texas, is Mr. Brian Johnson. Athletic director, Jason Dean. head coach Jordan Vieira, and the athletic trainers, the ones that do so much work, and I didn't realize how much, and I'll go into this here in a second, Chad Hennessy and Vanessa Rideau. I was talking to Chad Hennessy yesterday, but then I was talking to Coach Vieira, and one of the moms had asked at the coaches show when we were chatting and cleaning up, and they said, hey, do we need to go ahead and pack the boys a lunch on this trip to San Antonio? It's like, oh, Chad's got it on lockdown. It's like, what do you mean? These boys will eat well, and when it comes to the playoffs especially, they'll have 3 different meals provided on this day alone.
That's awesome.
And Chad Hennessy gets all that going, orders it, and has it ready for these players. They take care of these athletes for the time and the effort. Like Coach was saying, they spend as much time with the coaches and with each other than they do their own families.
Yeah, Chad Hennessy, he's been around for a long time, probably as long as anybody on any of the coaching staffs with the exception of maybe Rhonda Farney. But H has been around for a long time, and he didn't go to recess in elementary school because Chad don't play. And he does a phenomenal job of keeping these kids healthy.
I tell you what, and the dedication of this staff, this school, and I tell you what, it's become a phenomenon that as soon as a big win happens, there's tweets going out to the principal, Mr. Johnson, going, hey, is the blue light on? Hello, we need a blue light out front. And then the Twitter comes on. It's like, absolutely, the blue light's on. Something neat, and it's just a tradition here at Georgetown High School. But the fact that these players, these parents, these athletes, everyone involved loves to see that camaraderie from the top of the school to all the way to the janitor. It doesn't matter. Everyone has the important role.
Playing football.
Oh, that was beautiful.
You think they're relaxed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all. Hey, good to see here. Well, we got to talk about it as we talk about family. Jaron Vieira, Coach Jordan Vieira's brother, just had a baby last Friday night. His wife delivered their second child 30 minutes after the Cedar Park victory. He's on the phone and is telling Jordan about the fact that he's holding the iPad and holding his wife's hand watching the game as she's in labor, but the baby had taken its time getting here. He said the nurses were coming down having to warn him because he's getting so excited. But tonight, he's back on the third base sideline in the dugout with these players, one of the biggest cheerleaders for this team.
My wife might have smashed that in my face while she was in labor with our kids, but it's great to have him here and just all the families of these players. And I want to give a shout-out to the boosters and the families of these players. They have just accepted us and made us feel like we are a part of Georgetown Eagle baseball, and it's just so much fun to be around these families, these kids. It's an honor to be doing this, and we're so excited to be here.
I tell you what, you talk about Coach Vieira calling for a turnout tonight, and Coach Vieira's gotten it. The Georgetown Blue Wave is here in full force tonight for the Georgetown Eagles. You look on this tonight. Now I will tell you, I'll be the first to admit, we are blessed here at this program, and the money that this school district puts into their athletic programs, their fine arts, their theater, their band, that these facilities are second to none. And so we come back tonight, you can see the whole stands here, and it's beautiful in the shade. Not a big turnout here for the San Antonio Alamo Heights Mules tonight. Maybe 30, 40 people, and you got to think it's just families, where last night it was a big crowd that gave them a home field advantage. But then you turn to the middle and to your left, and it's packed full of Georgetown Eagle fans.
Well, and to the Alamo Heights folks' credit, they may have made the bad mistake of going up I-35, so they may all be stuck driving around tents and stuff in Austin. But
that's what Chris Petty came in and told us last night. I made the mistake of coming down 35 last night. We left early and got down there to avoid that. The Mules of Alamo Heights tonight, they have on the white pants with the blue and yellow piping down the side, the blue and yellow and white stirrups with the pants up about knee-high, and then they're in their blue jerseys with white numerals and white lettering outlined in gold, blue hats, yellow bills with the yellow logos. Your Georgetown Eagles, as they're being introduced, we'll turn on the crowd mic now. Speaking of Mr. Chris Petty, as he introduces your Eagles, the Eagles in their home whites, all white pants, all white jersey tops with the Georgetown blue pinstripes, the Georgetown blue numerals, and Eagles in script lettering across the front. The Royal Georgetown blue hats with the white G logo on the front.
That's a good-looking uniform.
Today with the pinstripe, and we were talking about that to Coach, as we were talking to the coaching show, interviewing some of these seniors, is, you're strapping on this uniform for one last playoff run. I said, I apologize. You're strapping on all these uniforms that this program has, and a lot of beautiful uniforms. And talking about that, just the honor of it and the pride that comes with it. We're going to go to the national anthem. We'll be back right here on SHS. back here live at Eagle Field, where Jacob Haddon goes through the warm-ups here for the top of the first inning. And we get set defensively for the Georgetown Eagles. That's the Alamo Heights Mules. And here is the defense for your Eagle defense.
In the outfield from left to right, Klaus Keismore, Petty, and Heil. On the infield, Smith, Hellman, Davis, and Bell. Behind the plate, Mazak. And on the mound tonight, Jacob Haddon for your Eagles.
Thank you to all our servicemen and women, our soldiers here and around the world. As you protect our many freedoms, we would be remiss if we did not say thank you each and every opportunity we had to give thanks for everything you do. Please stay safe and come back to your families. We appreciate all our military men and women.
Shout out to the folks listening on YouTube. Melissa Raina says, "Go America, go Wally, and go Eagles." I guess.
Good friends of ours.
All right, I don't count. Just kidding.
Good job, Melissa.
And Taylor Reynolds, 2010 graduate of Georgetown High School. Taylor says, "I love watching Eagle baseball." We appreciate all of our viewers tonight. If you'll give us a shout-out on the chat, we'll give some shout-outs as the game goes on.
Zachary Mozick throws down to second to close off the warm-ups. And in steps Bennett Angulo, the shortstop for the Eagles. And now the camera problems begin. Oh, we have them all set up, and now we'll go to the behind plate. We'll try to get the transmitters hooked back up. Angulo steps in from the right side. The first pitch from Haddon, and a ball popped up on the right side of the infield. E.J. Davis, he'll come in 3 or 4 steps. One pitch, one out. And that'll bring up the pitcher, number 5, James Sobey. P4 is the recording for the first out of the ball game. Jacob Haddon, the lefty, starts from the windup. Angulo, Sobey, and Hart, the top 3 hitters in the lineup, to face off against Haddon here in the top of the first. First pitch to Sobey on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count to the pitcher, James Sobey. Sobey back in from the right side, the 1-0 pitch, or 0-1 pitch, and he'll send it into left center field. Andon Petty on the run, Klaus Keismore on the run, and Klaus Keismore will run it down in deep left center field. There we go. We talk about the speed early on. This park, a totally different outlook for this Mule team. 323 down the lines, 385 to the power alleys, 361 was the dead straightaway center field last night at Mule Yard. A totally different sized outfield for these Mule hitters.
That one may have left the park last night, but it's not last night.
3 pitches, 2 outs, and in steps Edward Hart, the left-handed hitting first baseman. First pitch inside for a ball. These Mule hitters will attack the pitcher. They will go after good pitches and swing early. They're very aggressive at the plate, as seen by the first 2 hitters. The 1-0 pitch, a ground ball out to first base on a hop. Bell will get it. He'll flip to Haddon covering, and the Mules go in order here in the top of the first. After half an inning, 0 for the Mules. The Eagles coming up. More Eagle baseball here on SHN in just a moment. Back here live at Eagle Field, 5 pitches by Jacob Haddon at the top of the first. Records 3 quick outs for the Mule hitters. And now come up the Eagles here in the bottom of the first. Mazik, Davis, and Heil, the 3 hitters due up here in the bottom of the first. Defensively, let's set the defense for the Mules. Kelly?
For the Alamo Heights Mules tonight, and in the outfield from left to right, Zunker, Gunter, and Broderick. On the infield, Alfonson, Angulo, Duffin, and H. Sobey, the brother of the pitcher, Jay Sobey, who's on the mound tonight. Behind the plate, Robles.
No, one correction, one change in that. Edward Hart is the first baseman for Harrison Sobey tonight. So the pitcher from last night ends up moving now to first base for the Mules. Zachary Mazik will step in to lead things off here in the bottom of the first for the Eagles. The left-handed hitting catcher steps in. Sobey from the windup. First pitch of the bottom of the first inning. Just high for a ball.
Zach Mazok's batting .452 on the year. He has an on-base percentage of .615, slugging percentage of .677, and an OPS of 1.293.
The 1-0 pitch outside, ball 2 to Mazik. Their person. The 2-0 pitch outside, 3-0 now the count to Zachary Mazik. The 3-0 pitch to Zachary Mazik from Sobey is high for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to lead things off for the Eagles here in the top or bottom of the first. The first walk issued in the ball game for the Mules. Now Zach Zavala will come in to run for the catcher Zachary Mazik, who reaches on a 4-pitch walk to start things off here in the bottom of the first. And Kelly, you can't ask for a better outcome. Your leadoff batter in the bottom of the first inning gets on, and now the pressure being applied to the Mules early on.
Zach got on to start the night off last night, so hopefully that's a good sign.
Zavala will lead off first. Hart will hold him on there. The right-handed pitcher, Sobey, from the stretch. In steps the right-handed hitting E.J. Davis. He'll take the first pitch up and in for a ball. 5 straight balls. We apologize for the center field issues. There's someone out on our center field camera stand that is now affecting the movements of our camera.
It's the other broadcast, and their battery died on their camera, but as soon as he gets off that platform, we'll be in good shape.
The 1-0 pitch to Davis. Up and in. Chin music. E.J. gets out of the way. 6 straight balls from James Sobey, the senior right-hander for the Mules. E.J. Davis steps back in from the right side. 2 balls, no strikes. Zavala leads off first. Sobey set the 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. 7 straight balls now for Sobey.
Now you make him throw a strike. You want this kid to throw a lot of pitches in this first inning, get on top of him, and hopefully get to their bullpen.
Zavala with the lead off first. Hart holds him on. Sobey comes set, the 3-0 pitch. And it's in there for a called strike. Right down the middle. And now the count 3-1 to E.J. Davis, the second baseman for the Eagles. E.J. steps back in. Zavala gets his lead. Sobey comes set, the 3-1 pitch. Davis squares around a bunt, but will bunt it foul down the right or first baseline. So now the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to E.J. Davis. E.J. steps back in. Full count now to the senior second baseman. Zavala leads off first base. Hart holds him on there. A bigger lead. Now a pickoff attempt. Hart can't hold on to it. Zavala slides back in safely. So they'll reset. E.J. Davis will step out. The full count now to E.J. Davis. The leadoff batter, Zachary Mazik, reaches on a 4-pitch walk. Zach Zavala, the courtesy runner, leads off first. Sobey will come set in the stretch. Zavala gets a little bit bigger lead. The payout pitch, Zavala off running, and the ball put into play into right field. It's going to be down for a base hit into right field. Zavala around second base. He'll easily get into third. And now a beautiful single there by E.J. Davis. What a piece of hitting there by your senior second baseman.
Beautiful hit and run. That's the call that's there. So E.J. has the option, or E.J. has the responsibility to put that ball in play. And, boy, that's a beautiful hit into right field.
First hit of the ball game for the Eagles. And now runners on the corners with no outs. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, number 6, Landon Heil. Heil had a good night last night, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Step in here with no outs and runners on the corners. E.J. Davis leads off first. Zavala leads off third. Davis off running. The throw down from Robles. It'll be cut off empty. Hoping for a guy to Zavala to take off from third. And so a stolen base has 2 runners in scoring position with no outs, Kelly. The pressure you want to see applied here in the first inning.
Yes, sir. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered to get this game going for the Eagles. Was it 5 pitches in the top half?
5 pitches for Haddon in the top of the first. And a lot more here in the bottom of the first for Sobey. The 0-1 pitch to Heil is about 3 feet short. Bounced in on the turf. 4-1, 1-1 to count now to Landon Heil. The infield here for Eagle Field, an all-turf infield, all grass, natural grass in the outfield, beautifully cut by Coach Vieira himself. You got to like the lines. They're beautiful. He worked on that this morning. He told me he'll be out here early. But a beautiful park here and a beautiful night for baseball, Kelly.
That sun is going to be an issue for a little while for the fielders.
1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss by Landon Heil. And the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the senior right fielder. Reese Bell, the first baseman, waits on deck. And now we should settle back in with our cameras, hopefully. Sobey comes set. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Landon Heil. Runners on second and third, no outs. The 1-2 pitch, and it hits Heil. And now bases loaded with no outs. A tale of 2 cities right here.
Here comes Big Boy.
The worst nightmare for the Mules, the outcome they don't want to start the ball game. Bases loaded, no outs with the big man coming up, Reese Bell, and the dream situation for your Eagles.
Well, and I was just pondering how long it was going to take for the coach to come out and have something to say, because he cannot let his team get far behind tonight starting off in this first inning.
Well, it looks like his discussion is, did Heil make a maneuver to get out of the way?
He turned.
My question is this. Heil had no opportunity to get out of the way. He just turned to protect himself. So Heil down at first base. E.J. Davis down at second. The courtesy runner, Zach Zavala, down at third for the catcher, Mazik. The Jeopardy music. Well played. Well played, press box. Oh, well played, press box. That was beautiful. So the visit ends between the home plate umpire and Coach Joey Boyd for the Mules. And in steps Reese Bell, the first baseman. Senior steps in with an opportunity here. No outs and the bases loaded for the Eagles here in the bottom of the first. Sobey comes set from the stretch. The first pitch. Breaking pitch almost up and in on Reese Bell.
Reese got hit last night in his first at bat. Was it last night?
No, Cedar Park. He got
Cedar
hit
Park, he got hit twice.
Steps in here, 1-0 the count. Zavala off third, E.J. Davis off second, Landon Heil off first. The corner's in for the Mules. The 1-0 pitch, and Reese Bell takes a hack, fouls it off, back out of play. 4-1, 1-1 the count.
King's Pest Control needs some attention of the people in this building tonight, because that's where I want Reese to hit this ball.
King's Pest Control or Pokey Joe's Barbecue. The signs are waiting to be taken down.
Hit that Pokey Joe's sign.
And a shout out to our host for the Coaches Show each and every week, Pokey Joe's Barbecue here in Georgetown, Texas. The 1-1 pitch to Bell. And the breaking pitch just short. Bounces there in the turf. The Robles, I tell you what, one thing you got to talk about when you talk about this Mule team is that sophomore catcher, Bruno Robles. He's done a great job. He showed his arm last night. But what a job by a young sophomore here on a situation like this and stepping up, made several plays for this team. Quite the athlete and a future for Bruno Robles. Bell fouls this pitch back over the third base dugout, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the first, Mazik reached on a 4-pitch walk, and then E.J. Davis singled to right field to move Zachary Zavala all the way around to third base. And then Landon Heil hit by a pitch. Bases loaded, no outs. The 2-2 count to Reese Bell. The 2-2 pitch. Bell sends a pop-up out into shallow right center field. Catch made by the center fielder. There's going to be a tag up, and here comes Zavala. He'll slide in safely. Sack fly, and then Landon Heil pays attention on the move, on the throw home. And Landon Heil moves up to second base. E.J. Davis moves up to third, and so now 1 out. Sack fly RBI for Reese Bell. And now 1 out, runners in second and third. And the Eagles still in contention to get some more runs as Logan Smith comes up to bat.
Just 1 out to go. You got 2 runners in scoring position and an opportunity here for Logan. It's coming into the game today, averaging .259 at the plate, .377 on-base percentage with a slugging percentage of .325 and an OPS of .704.
Smith in from the right side, so becomes set from the stretch. The first pitch misses for ball 1.
Boy, that didn't miss by much.
1-0 the count.
When your pitcher's struggling, those close pitches that you miss that you don't get from the umpire just grow a little more frustrating.
The 1-0 count to Logan Smith. Runners on second and third, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. This pitch hits Logan Smith right in the back. And now the base is loaded again with 1 out, and here comes one of our favorites, the super sophomore, Riley Leiniger. And now Robles goes out to talk to the pitcher, Sobey. The second batter hit by a pitch here in the bottom of the first.
Melissa said we need a 2-run tank.
2-run tank. Riley Leiniger steps in, the super sophomore, the lefty. I talked to Landon Heil the other night about him and Leiniger battling for that DH spot and how it felt for Landon to then go to right field and take over right field to allow Riley to get in the lineup as well. And he said that just, what it does is it makes an impact on 2 players that worked really hard to get in the lineup, both being rewarded. And Riley's earned that time as much as, and Landon said Riley had earned that as much as he had, and he loves to see that. It's his team just continuing to push to get better. The first pitch to Leiniger misses outside for a ball. Eli Hellman, the shortstop, on deck for the Eagles. A lot of pitches being thrown here in the first inning by James Sobey. Comes set, the 1-0 pitch to Leiniger. Up and out for ball 2.
Some more Santa Alamo Heights folks making it in.
They took I-35.
Traffic. Don't make that mistake. Pay the tolls.
Or leave early. Sobey back on the mound. Addresses the rubber in the stretch. Bases loaded with 1 out. 1 run across here in the bottom of the first. Sack fly RBI by Reese Bell. Leiniger back in. The 2-0 pitch. Low and outside. He gets away from the catcher. Here comes E.J. Davis. He's going to come in and not even slide. He's going to get scored. The ball goes away from the pitcher, Sobey. Backed up by Hart. Good play by Hart to come down and back that up. But now Landon Heil moves to third. And Logan Smith up to second base. Runners in scoring position. 1 out and now 2 runs across here on the wild pitch by Sobey, his first of the ball game.
Come on, super soft. Do something. Drive these guys in. I'd love to see Riley have some success right here and just continue what he's been doing.
You got to think the bat will stay on his shoulder here. 3-0 the count to Leiniger. The 3-0 pitch misses outside. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. The second walk issued here in the first inning by Sobey. And that'll bring up Eli Hellman. Hellman, the shortstop, will step in from the right side. But not before we get a visit from the Mule coaching staff. We'll take a quick timeout. Be back with more Eagle Baseball here on SHN Sports. visit is over. Sobey still in the ballgame on the mound for the Mules. And in steps Eli Hellman. Bases loaded and 1 out. 2 runs across here at the bottom of the first for the Eagles. The first pitch to Hellman. Catches the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Ty Klaus Geismore on deck for the Eagles. 3 runners aboard. Heil at third, Smith at second, Leininger at first. The 0-1 pitch inside. Ball 1 to Hellman. Almost the third hit batter of the game for Sobey. That one was up and in.
It's a good thing there's not dirt around the plate because these guys would not be digging in.
No one up throwing for the Mules, so that may speak to that issue of not having a very deep pitching staff. Sobey continues to throw. The 1-1 pitch. Low for a ball. 2-1 now the count to Eli Hellman. Leininger reached on a walk. Smith hit by a pitch and Heil hit by a pitch. They are the occupants of the bases here for the Eagles. We're in the bottom of the first. Bases loaded. 1 out. The 2-1 count to Hellman. Hellman grounds it out in between short and third. High hop fielded by third baseman. Throw across. The only play for Alfonson is across the first base, but an RBI on the ground out by Hellman. Scores Heil. The runners move up. 2 runners still in scoring position with 2 outs. And the Eagles have a 3-0 lead here early on.
Love seeing this production, the aggression at the plate. Guys doing what they need to do, start building that run.
5-3 on the putout. Due up next, Ty Klaus Geismore.
Ty's averaging .333 on the season, an OBP of .424 with a slugging percentage of .457 and an OPS of .881 for the senior left fielder.
Ty steps in with 2 outs and runners on second and third. The first pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Ty Klaus Geismore. Andon Petty, the senior center fielder, on deck for the Eagles. The 8th batter of the inning for the Eagles here in the bottom of the first. 2 outs and 2 runners on second and third. The 0-1 pitch inside. Wow.
Zoinks.
I tell you what, the Matrix effect is in full gear tonight. Several batters have avoided a pitch by mere centimeters as Klaus Geismore gets out of the way of that one.
I hear Shaggy every time. Zoinks, zoinks.
1-1 now the count to Klaus Geismore.
Reggie.
Sobey with the 1-1 pitch. The breaking pitch in there for a called strike. A totally different look there on that pitch from Sobey.
That had some nastiness in the movement. It broke late.
And now the Mules have a player up in their bullpen. We'll try to figure out who's warming up here in a minute. The 1-2 pitch to Klaus Geismore, and he fouls it off the handle. Way to stay alive there by Ty. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Klaus Geismore. Runners on second and third. 3-0 the score here in the bottom of the first. The 1-2 pitch. Klaus Geismore grounds it. The high hop off the glove of Sobey, and it's going to be an infield single for Klaus Geismore and an RBI. 4-0. Georgetown leads it here in the bottom of the first.
That's what you needed. Oh, that's what you needed. You know, listening to some of the conversations taking place after the game last night with the Alamo Heights folks, there was some confidence, and it's an inning like this where you can rattle that confidence a little bit, hopefully, and get to the bullpen.
Andon Petty steps in, the senior center fielder for the Eagles. He's got runners on the corners with 2 outs. 4 runs across here in the bottom of the first. Expect Klaus Geismore to take off here. Got a big lead at first, held on by Hart. He does not run. The first pitch in there for a called strike to Andon Petty. 0-1 the count. This half of the stands, the Mule half of the stands, very quiet right now. Sobey comes set. Throw over to first base. Klaus Geismore dives back in safely.
Finally, a pickoff move that wasn't close.
Oh, good night. Hey, credit to Edward Hart.
Yeah.
What a move from the lefty.
First couple tonight for this pitcher were pretty good, too.
0-1 to count. Here to Andon Petty. Klaus Geismore leads off first. He'll take off on the pitch. The pitch is low. Robles will throw down, but not in time. Klaus Geismore steals the base. And now runners on second and third again. one thing Coach Vieira said with the interview you had with him after the ball game, get some timely hits, put some pressure on, steal some bases, all coming to fruition here in the first inning.
That's Eagle baseball, and they are playing it to a T right now.
Leininger down at third base. Klaus Keismore at second. Andon Petty has a 1-1 count with 2 outs and the 2 runners on. 4 runs across here in the bottom of the first. The 1-1 pitch misses, and it gets past Robles. Here comes Leininger down the line. He'll score easily if Robles can't find it. And that'll move Klaus Keismore to third. The 5th run of the inning on the second wild pitch by Sobey.
Well, you don't do yourselves any favors whenever you do that, and that wild pitch is frustrating. You can see some of the frustration on this catcher just in his body language so far in this game. They're going to have a little pep rally, come to Jesus meeting in that dugout on the first base side after this half inning. 2-1
count to Andon Petty with 2 outs and a runner on third. The 2-1 pitch is down in the turf. 4-3. Now a 3-1 count with Zachary Mazik, the leadoff hitter, back on deck for the Eagles. A 3-1 count as Klaus Keismore leads off third base. Sobey from the windup, the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball down the third base line. Coach, God, you know what? Give credit where it's due.
Coach B making the play over there just smooth, fluid.
Hey, that was a slow bouncer. He got out of the way of the Rockets the other day.
We've been pounding on him for his performance down there on that third baseline for a few games now, and I'm trying to give some credit.
He's trying to show off for his brother who's in the dugout tonight.
At least he didn't scream and dive.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Andon Petty, he'll step back in with the Klaus Keismore, the runner down at third base. 5 runs here in the bottom of the first for the Eagles. Sobey back to the windup. The payoff pitch to Andon Petty. Ground ball out towards short. The shortstop, Angulo, up with it. Fires across in time for out number 3. But not before the Georgetown Eagles bat around in the bottom of the first. 5 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 1 runner left on base. After 1 complete inning, 5-0 your score. The Eagles lead it over Alamo Heights. Back with more Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment. We go to the top of the second inning. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for the Mules. Carter, Robles, and Broderick due up. First pitch from Haddon. In there for strike 1.
That was disgusting.
5 pitches in the first inning for Jacob Haddon. The 0-1 pitch. And the ball sent into deep left field. Ty Klaus Keismore on the run, but this is going to be a solo home run for Holden Carter. He stops between first and second, so this is new to him, hitting a home run.
He thought the left fielder was saying it was a foul ball.
So Holden Carter takes the 0-1 pitch, sends it down the left field line just inside the fair pole for a solo home run.
Now batting fifth, the catcher, Bruno Robles.
That'll bring up Bruno Robles.
Well, you know their number 4 hitter's got some power.
And this, now, the left field line, shorter than it is at San Antonio at the Mule Yard for these Mules here. First pitch in there for a called strike on the outside corner to Robles, the catcher. 5-1 your score. The Mules cut into the 5-run lead here quickly in the top of the second. The 0-1 pitch, ground ball down the first baseline, high hop, fielded by Reese Bell. He'll flip to Haddon covering at first for the first out. 3-1 on the putout for out number 1, and that'll bring up Will Broderick, the right fielder for the Mules.
Reese Wheels Bell did a great job of getting his feet set and playing a tricky hop.
And making a good pitch to Haddon so he can continue in his motion across the bag. First pitch, and the ball hit into center field. Andon Petty kind of stands around and does the Macarena there.
Yeah.
As he waits for the ball. Didn't have to move, but he makes the catch for out number 2. F8 in the book, and that'll bring up Jackson Duffin, the second baseman, with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Jacob Haddon had to sit a long time after a quick 5-pitch inning in the top of the first. You'd like to see him settle back in here after that solo home run by the DH Carter. The first pitch in there for a called strike.
5 pitches doesn't even get you good and warm.
Exactly.
So
exactly. And then to sit while your offense goes to work and puts up 9 batters with 5 runs across to get you a lead to work with. The 0-1 pitch. Up and in for ball 1 to Jackson Duffin, the second baseman for the Mules. On deck is number 4, Parks Zunker, the left fielder. I love to see it when the crowd is so full that the Georgetown fans still coming in are sitting amongst the San Antonio Alamo Heights Mules.
it's fantastic.
This pitch up and in for a ball. 2-1 the count now to Duffin. Haddon from the windup. The 2-1 pitch. A ball sent into left field. Ty Klaus Geismore is going to try to chase it down. It's off of him. Duffin's going to round first, but he'll have to circle back as the ball comes in quickly. And a single, 2-out single by Jackson Duffin.
Ty just sent that in on a rope.
I think he was frustrated with himself as he allowed that ball to kind of ricochet off his leg. So he got it in and made sure Duffin went nowhere. So in steps Parks Zunker. He'll step down the third baseline for an offensive timeout here to visit with Coach Joey Boyd. 2 outs. A runner at first. 1 run across here in the top of the second for the Mules. 5-1 your score.
Danielle Hutchinson let us know the Lady Eagles were victorious today, 11-1.
Oh, a big run rule win for the Eagles to advance.
Yes,
the Lady
indeed.
Eagles advance to the 3rd round.
Great job, ladies.
First pitch in there on the inside corner for a called strike to Park Zunker. Corbin Gunter, the center fielder, on deck for the Mules. So the Lady Eagles now get to enjoy their weekend after the 1-game winner-takes-all second round. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch by Jacob Haddon. Beautiful pitch there by Jacob. And now the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Correction, no balls and 2 strikes to Zunker. Ground ball out between short and third. Hellman on a backhand. Fires across the diamond. What a play! Put a gold star on it. Eli Hellman, the backhanded scoop and throw across the diamond to Reese Bell. And what a rocket throw there to retire the Mules. But not before they get 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. 5-1 your score. Georgetown leads it over the Mules. Back with more Eagle Baseball on SHN in just a moment. go to the bottom of the second. Zachary Mazik leads it off again here for the Eagles. He reached on a 4-pitch walk in his first appearance. First swinging strike here as he fouled it off. Out of play down the third baseline. Sobey back in. 40 pitches thrown in the first inning by James Sobey. So you got to think he's not here long for this game, but with the pitch count continuing to climb like that. The 0-1 pitch to Mazik. Low and inside, and you see the umpire kind of jerk up and clinch up as that one hit the turf and hopped up into his padding. Robles checks on him. You all right? You all right? A 1-1 to count now to the catcher, Zachary Mazik. Ground ball hit out towards second base. Duffin fields it, throws across to Hart at first base in time for out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. And that'll bring up E.J. Davis with 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
Georgetown needs to keep playing their game. They can't give in. They got to be patient at the plate. Not let the Mules get back into this game.
E.J. Davis steps in with 1 out. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. He had a single, stole second base, and scored a run. The first pitch is in there on the inside corner on the breaking pitch. Sobey, the frequency of the breaking pitch is now picked up for him, going away from just throwing hard and now trying to get the ball across the strike zone. The 0-1 pitch to Davis, and he swings on a dirty pitch in the turf about 3 feet short of home plate.
Pitch was filthy, and he's disgusted with himself. There's just a need for some Tide Pods up there right now to clean things up.
0-2 the count to E.J. Davis. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Sobey from the windup, the 0-2 pitch. And that's in the turf. Robles going to wake up and need an ice bath in the morning for all the work he's putting in here in just the first inning and 2/3. Inning and a third. I tell you what, he's been worn out.
He has.
Sobey back in the windup. The 1-2 pitch to E.J. Davis. It skips into the turf. 4-2 count now. Evens it out for E.J. Davis. Davis with that beautiful single that moved Zach Zavala from first to third and started things going here in the bottom of the first for the Eagles.
Sobey's just having a hard time getting that breaking pitch to fall in there.
The 2-2 pitch misses low for ball 3, and now a full count. The payoff pitch to E.J. Davis misses low for ball 4. A 1-out walk. And E.J. Davis has reached base in both of his at-bats tonight. Third walk of the game issued by Sobey. And that'll bring up Landon Heil.
Now batting, number 6, Landon.
Landon was hit by a pitch in his first appearance in the ball game. He came around to score the 3rd run of the inning for the Eagles. 3rd run of the game for the Eagles. Heil steps in here with 1 out and a runner at first. E.J. Davis will lead off first, held on by Hart.
I bet he runs.
Davis with a good lead. Sobey from the stretch. The first pitch, breaking pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Landon Heil. The saga of the cameras continues here in Georgetown, Texas. 0-1 the count to Landon Heil. Davis leads off first. Sobey comes set from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch skips in for ball 1. One thing that the Mules and Robles are accustomed to, their home plate area at Mule Yard is turf as well. So doing a great job of reading that ball, skipping in off of the turf and not even get out of the dirt or anything like that. Something he's used to. But a lot of work being put in by the young catcher here early in the ball game. The 1-1 pitch to Landon Heil as Davis takes off running towards second. Robles throws down, but not going to be in time. Oh, my. Coach Vieira not happy. Here he comes out on the field. They're going to call Davis out. Oh, my goodness.
I think it was the right call.
2-6 on the caught stealing for out number 2. The young catcher Robles records the second out. Now the 1-2 pitch To Landon Heil with the bases empty and 2 outs, and he grounds it out towards second. Duffin up with it on a high hop, throws across too hard in time for out number 3. And the lone fan for the Mules up and yelling as the Eagles go down here in order in the bottom of the second.
That's going to go over great with this wall of blue.
5-1 your score after 2 innings. Back with more Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment. We go to the top of the third, 5-1. The Eagles lead it over the Mules. The 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Mules here in the third inning. Gunter, Angulo, and Sobey. First pitch popped up down the left field line. It's going to be a base hit as it falls just inside the left field line. Klaus Geismore fires it in quickly, and Gunter returns to the bag for a leadoff single.
Back to the top of the lineup, number 1, Ben Angulo.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Bennett Angulo. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Popped out to the second baseman, E.J. Davis, on the first pitch of the game. How many offensive timeouts do you get here?
I don't know.
Angulo went down the line to meet with Coach Joey Boyd. This is his second visit offensively. I'm not sure how many you get in a game. It's got to be limited. But now Angulo steps in with no outs and a runner on first in Gunter. The first pitch misses somewhere for ball 1. Looked like a good pitch there from Haddon. Angulo took it for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Bell holds on Gunter at first base. Haddon comes set. The 1-0 pitch, and a ball popped up on the infield again. Mazik turns around. He'll make the play about 3 steps behind home plate. Good job there by your catcher, P1 or P2 in the book for out number 1. That'll bring up the pitcher, James Sobey. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flew out to tie Klaus Geismore in the first inning. Steps in here with 1 out and a runner on first.
He just tap one out there for a little 6-4-3 double play and get out of this inning.
I think that's what Hellman and E.J. Davis were just talking about. Now a pickoff attempt. Just nice smooth move there by Haddon to keep the runner close. Gunter gets back quickly. 1 out here in the top of the third. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. Quick pickoff attempt here, and Gunter dives back safely. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Mules. 5 runs, 2 hits, no errors for your Eagles. The first pitch will come in just a minute. Another pickoff attempt. The expectation here is I guess they're expecting Gunter to take off with 1 out and try to get into scoring position with your 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up.
It's one of the small things, but all the base runners have watched to make sure they actually threw the ball back to the pitcher.
Swing and a miss on a beautiful breaking pitch by Jacob Haddon. 0-1 the count to James Sobey. That's just well-coached ball players.
Yes.
Paying attention to the little things like that. Even in a game where you could be down, be frustrated, down 5-1, paying attention and not making simple base running mistakes. The 0-1 count to Sobey. Haddon will throw the 0-1 pitch and a ground ball up the middle. 6-4. And he can't get a hold of it. The play made at second base. You almost thought Hellman could have taken that by himself.
Yep.
But he was a little bit behind the bag. He goes to the flip to E.J. Davis. And Davis got the ball long enough, but Coach Joey Boyd's going to argue it. But he stayed on the bag the entire time till he got a grip on it, but just couldn't make the throw. So 6-4, fielder's choice for Sobey.
The bobble came in the transition. That's what the umpire's telling the coach right now.
So Gunter retired on the 6-4 play for out number 2. And that brings up Edward Hart, the first baseman, with 2 outs and a runner at first.
I'm so sad because I almost got my 6-4-3
And I even said, there it
prediction.
is. 6-4. 4.
4.
But E.J. Davis just couldn't get the handle on it quick enough to make the turn. Not something you'll usually see there, but not going to be an error. The out was recorded there. They made that play, which allowed the runner Sobey to beat it to first base for the fielder's choice. So now 2 outs and a runner on first as the lefty Edward Hart steps in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. First pitch to him. Misses low and outside for ball 1.
Was he batting right last night?
He batted left.
Okay.
And now the courtesy runner for the Mules, for the pitcher Sobey, is going to be number 7, William Blake. Blake will step to first base with 2 outs. And Edward Hart will step back in from the left side. Haddon comes set from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 1. Beautiful pitch there by Jacob Haddon. 1-1 to count now to the big lefty, Edward Hart.
Boy, when Jacob's breaking pitches are working, it's just fun to watch.
The 1-1 pitch, fouled off back to the screen for strike 2. Reminiscent of last night, the foul ball hit the screen enough to knock our microphone out. Kelly had to go down and reset it. It was like the ball hit right where the mic was. Now 1-2 to Hart. The 1-2 pitch, the ball popped up on the infield. Zachary Mozick floats back towards the screen and makes the catch for out number 3. P2 in the book. And the Mules go down quietly here in the top of the third. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 2.5, 5-1, Georgetown leads it over Alamo Heights. Back with more Eagle Baseball on SHN.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
UIL Baseball State Championships starting Wednesday, June 8th at UFCU Dish Fault Field in Austin, Texas, and the Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org.
We go to the bottom of the third inning. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up. Bell, Smith, and Leininger. Reese Bell steps in. Reese hit a sac fly in the first inning to score the first run of the ball game. He steps in 0 for 0 from the behind at the plate. First pitch, ground ball down the third baseline towards the dugout. Foul for strike 1.
That swing trying to answer the home run earlier.
He was trying to answer. Yes, absolutely.
Big swing.
He was going after Holden Carter's solo bomb. 0-1 to count to Reese Bell. Sobey back in for his third inning of work from the windup. The 0-1 pitch. And a ball sent into right center field. The right fielder Broderick comes in and makes the catch for out number 1. F9 in the book. And that'll bring up Logan Smith. Logan Smith, the third baseman, was hit by a pitch in his first at bat back in the first or first appearance back in the first inning. Came around to score the 4th run of the inning for the Eagles. He'll step in here with 1 out, no runners on. What a great crowd here tonight for game number 2 of this bi-district playoff matchup between the Eagles and the Mules of Alamo Heights. The first pitch to Smith went over the back of Logan Smith for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Logan didn't want to wear another one there so quickly. Still remembers the first one he wore in the first inning. Back in here in the bottom of the 3rd. The 1-0 pitch. Breaking pitch in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count.
Follow that high and above your head pitch with a nice breaking pitch, and you saw a little reaction.
The 1-1 pitch, and Logan Smith slashes one down the line, and there's their Coach Vieira we know. He gets out of the way of that one. He lifts the leg and says, no, thank you.
If it leaves the bat with a velocity above 23 miles an hour, he wants no part of it.
1-2, now the count to Logan Smith. Sobey from the windup. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Takes his time, so Logan Smith takes a timeout. He'll reset himself. Step back in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Logan Smith. Sobey now from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. And Smith will send it down the left field line. It's going to take a little chance to get out of here, and it does. Logan Smith, a solo take. Gets the run back from Holden Carter. A 6-1 lead as Logan Smith goes, yeah.
Attaboy, Logan.
A tip of the cap, a clap of the hands, and the crowd loves it. Logan Smith pumped up, and just what you like to see.
Yep.
A production up and down this order.
Handed him the belt.
You love it. And what a job there. Logan Smith hits the solo bomb.
Now batting for Georgetown, number 20, your designated hitter, Riley Leininger.
Riley Leininger steps in, the super sophomore. He's 0 for 0 in the night. He reached on a base on balls. First pitch, slashed down the first baseline foul. For strike 1.
Haven't had very many games where we've seen 2 home runs in the game.
0-1 to count. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Logan Smith, or to Riley Leininger. Logan Smith comfy back in the in the dugout after that solo home run. 6-1, Georgetown leads it. Leininger back in, no balls and 2 strikes. The wind-up pitch fouled off at the plate. Leininger stays alive. No balls and 2 strikes. Leininger steps out, gathers himself. Sobey from the windup. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Base is empty. The 0-2 pitch just misses low for ball 1. 1-2 the count now to Riley Leininger. Eli Hellman, the shortstop, on deck for the Eagles. The 1-2 pitch, and Leininger slaps it out, and it's going to be in for a base hit. A little dying liner. Angulo couldn't get to it in time as it died underneath his glove and into left field for a 1-out single.
Number 21, Eli Howard.
The 4th hit of the night for the Eagles. As Eli Hellman will step in here in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 1 runner on, 1 out. Hellman grounded out to the 3rd baseman, Alfonson, in the 1st inning. Got an RBI on that ground out. Steps in here with 1 out, and runner at first. The first pitch, and fouled off back to the screen by Hellman. 0-1 the count. A good piece of hitting there by Riley Leininger, the super sophomore. Had an 0-2 count, fought one off, saw another ball, and then punched that one over there. Just a dying, stinking liner that gets down and gets through. Gotta love it. He gets it. Foul ball back to the screen by Hellman. And what happened last night? We'll see if it'll straighten itself out. 0-2 the count. So we'll kill the mic. Kelly's going to be nice enough to run down and plug the mic again. He gets rattled by the foul ball. No balls and 2 strikes to Eli Hellman. Riley Leininger leads off first. Edward Hart holds him on there. Sobey comes set from the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. And Hellman chases it in the dirt, the turf. But a runner on first base, so it's a strikeout. First strikeout of the night for Sobey. And that's the second out of the inning here in the bottom of the third for the Eagles. And that'll bring up Klaus Geismore steps in. First pitch to him. Breaking pitch just a little low for ball 1. Ty 1 for 1 on the night. A single, stole second base, left stranded at third base. Back in inning number 1. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner on first in Riley Leininger. 1-0 the count to Ty Klaus Geismore. The 1-0 pitch. Just low, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Two 2-0 the count to Ty Klaus Geismore. The 2-0 pitch, low, ball 3. Throw back down to first behind Leininger, but he scurries back in time. And now a 3-0 count to Ty Klaus Geismore with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. 1 run across on the Logan Smith solo home run. And you got to love it. He gets a first home run of the year at home in his senior season on a playoff game. What an opportunity and what a job there by the third baseman, Logan Smith. The 3-0 count. Sobey from the stretch, the 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Ty had no intention of moving that bat there. And now a 3-1 count.
And this is where the Eagles have been able to do some damage through the season. 2 outs. You don't just give up on it. Done a lot of run production this year on 2 outs.
3-1 to count to Ty Klaus Geismore. The 3-1 pitch, ground ball out between third and short, and it's going to be knocked down by Angulo, but not before. The runners are safe. A beautiful infield single. But that's a great play by Angulo to keep it out of left field as Leininger would have moved up to third. Instead, the runners now at first and second.
Double steal maybe. Anden coming to the plate.
Fifth hit of the ball game for the Eagles. Has runners on first and second. What a job there. Ty Klaus Geismore 2 for 2 now in the ball game. And Anden Petty steps in. Anden Petty, the senior center fielder, grounded out to the shortstop to end the first inning. After all 9 batters came to the plate in the bottom of the first. Steps in here with runners on first and second and 2 outs. The first pitch from Sobey and a ground ball out towards second. The second baseman Duffin over, throws to first in time for out number 3. But not before the Eagles get 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 3 complete innings, 6-1 your score. Georgetown leads it over the Mules of Alamo Heights. More Eagle softball on SHN in just a moment. More Eagle baseball on SHN. I'm so excited about the girls.
I know, I'm so proud of the girls.
As much time as we got, I say that. We talked to Braylon Pinnell before the playoffs began. They go 2-0 in the first round. They go and win a run rule effect game in a winner-takes-all series, 11-1 today. Just excited. What a run they're on and the opportunity these girls have as they make a run through their playoffs.
So
but more Eagle baseball. Back on SHN in just a moment.
What does the 50th anniversary of Title IX mean? It means I'm valued, I'm empowered, I can do anything. It means I'll pave the way for every girl who plays high school sports in the future. Just like every female student, coach, official, and administrator blaze the trail for me. Because every student deserves the opportunity to play. Encourage girls you know to participate in Texas high school sports.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Go to the top of the fourth, 6-1 your score. Jacob Haddon back on the mound for the Eagles. First pitch swinging is Holden Carter. He's the only run on the board for the Mules. He hit a solo home run in his last plate appearance in the second inning. Fouls this one off for strike one. 0-1 the count. The DH Holden Carter back in. The 0-1 pitch inside for ball one. 1-1 the count.
Jacob coming right at him. You like to see it.
Carter,
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't shy away from it. He got a pitch and he hit it the first time. Great job by Holden Carter, and that's his job as the designated hitter. He'll take a big hack at this one and fly it into left field, and Ty Klaus Keismore has a read on it and makes the catch for out number one.
That left the bat. I got a little nervous. He put a good swing on it, just a little too far under it. Too high.
F7 in the book for out number one, and in steps the catcher Bruno Robles. He grounded out to Reese Bell back in the second inning for his first plate appearance. 0-for-1 in the ball game. What a breaking pitch on the inside corner.
That thing didn't break until it got over the brown turf part that would be dirt normally. That thing broke so late.
The 0-1 pitch just misses low for ball one. 1-1 to count to Bruno Robles. Will Broderick, the right fielder, on deck for the Mules. The 1-1 pitch from Haddon just misses low for ball two. 2-1 to count. Two and 1 to count. And a ground ball slashed foul towards the first base dugout by Robles. So now the count evens out at 2-2 now. To the catcher, Bruno Robles, the lefty. Throws right, bats left for the Mules. Nobody told me they had HTO. He didn't even move, though. That's an argument that Coach Vieira should make there. At least our players have moved. Robles did not move at all. And on a hit by pitch, there. And Coach comes out of the dugout. I don't know if he's going to argue that. He's just going to talk to his defense. So the first batter hit by a pitch. But to me, that's an argument to be made.
He didn't move at all.
Robles hit by the 2-2 pitch.
Will Broderick.
The courtesy runner on will be Philip New. For the Mules, he'll run for the catcher Robles. In steps Will Broderick, the right fielder, with one out and a runner at first. Haddon's first pitch to Broderick, high for ball one. That may be something to ask Coach. What's the ruling? What is the expectation? If Boyd can argue that when our player actually turned and got hit and Robles didn't even move. This pitch up and away for ball two. 2-0 the count to Broderick. Broderick 0-for-1 in the ball game. Flew out to the center fielder. Andon Petty back in the second inning. Hellman and Davis come in to visit with Haddon. 28 pitches through 3 innings for Jacob Haddon. 5 in the first, 12 in the second, 9 in the third.
Could we get a 4-6-3 here?
The 2-0 count. Swing and a miss for Broderick. 2-1 now the count to the right fielder. Jackson Duffin, the second baseman, on deck for the Mules. Little easy toss over. Gets Philip New, the courtesy runner, back to the bag. 2-1 the count now to Broderick. New leads off, held on by Bell. The 2-1 pitch. Check swing. He checked down with the third base umpire. Said he did not go. So now the count 3 balls and a strike to Broderick. Haddon comes set. The 3-1 pitch. Ground ball down the first baseline, but it's into the coach's box. He takes it off the chest. Happy Gilmore style. And now the count full to Broderick. Was he trying to show Coach Vieira something there? 3-2 now to Broderick. The runner off on the pitch. The 3-2 pitch. A sky ball into right field. Landon Heil readies under it and makes the catch. And Philip New had to scramble back from second base as he was off on the pitch. And he returns to first base. F9 in the book for out number 2. Jackson Duffin steps in.
Jackson Duffin.
Duffin 1 for 1 in the ball game. He singled back in the second inning, was left stranded on first base. Steps in here from the right side with 2 outs and a runner at first. Phillip New, the courtesy runner for the catcher Robles, who reaches on a hit by pitch. Hatton comes set. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Jackson Duffin. Hatton doing a good job of staying settled even after adversity. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Jacob doesn't have his best stuff tonight. Still throwing pretty well. Hitting some good spots. Doesn't have his best stuff tonight, but the defense has picked him up.
No balls, 2 strikes to the second baseman, Duffin. Phillip New leads off first. The 0-2 pitch. The ball hit out. Logan Smith under his glove into left field. And 2 runners aboard after the 2-out single.
Logan is not going to be pleased with himself for that one.
So now Duffin 2 for 2 on the night. 4th hit of the ball game. And that'll bring up Parks Zunker. Zunker 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out to Hellman to end the second for the Mules. Runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Hatton comes set. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. 0-1 the count. To Zunker. Hatton takes a look at second base. Now time called by Zunker at home plate. Swing and a miss. Oh, and 2 the count now to Parks Zunker, the left fielder. Runners on first and second, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. 6-1, the Eagles over the Mules. Hatton comes set. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Mules are down here in the 4th. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 3.5, the Eagles lead it 6-1 over Alamo Heights. Back with more Eagle baseball here on SHN in just a moment. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Zachary Bozak will lead things off for the Eagles. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Mozick 0 for 1 on the night. A ground out to second base and a walk. First pitch swinging, ground down the first base line towards the dugout for strike 1, 0-1 the count. James Sobey on for his 4th inning of work for the Mules. The 0-1 pitch misses outside for ball 1, 1-1 the count.
Eagles need to get back to what they did in that first inning, just being patient at the plate, making him throw good pitches.
The 1-1 pitch to Mazick in the turf for ball 2, 2-1 the count to the senior catcher,
who is currently the MVP.
Mazick back in from the left side. Sobey didn't like what he had, so he stepped off.
That dugout cracks me up.
2-1 the count. The 2-1 pitch. Mazick swing and a miss. Strike 2. Something interesting to talk about, Kelly. If you look at it, Sobey in the windup, but both hills are not in line with the rubber, which in NFHS rules is a balk in high school baseball. Pitch in, the 2-2 pitch, hit out to second base. Duffing up with it, throws the heart for the out. 4-3 on the putout for out number 1. That was something that was called in the Cedar Park game here against Cedar Park.
Now batting for Georgetown, number 2, PJ.
I know this is a different umpiring crew, but something that just stuck out. We talked about that with the coach the week after, how the split stance like that, both hills have to be in line with the rubber if you're in the windup here in Texas high school baseball rules. In steps E.J. Davis with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. E.J. 1 for 1 on the night. A single, stolen base, scored a run, reached on a walk. First pitch in the turf, gets away for ball 1. And it may be something the umpires don't worry about when he's throwing to a batter with no one on base. But it makes you wonder about that later in the game. You get bases loaded. They go back to the windup. Things like that may cost a pitcher in a baseball game. The 1-0 pitch to Davis, and he fouls it off back towards the backstop for strike 1.
You can't balk with no base runners on, but that is something to keep an eye on.
But in that Cedar Park game, they gave a warning when Reese Bell was up by himself, no one on base, about that. And so that's why I'm curious.
Right.
You know, is that something called around the state? Is it really not? Is it kind of particular to certain umpires? The 1-1 pitch to Davis. An off-speed pitch in there for a called strike, 1-2 the count.
Umpires, just like everybody else, are familiar with certain rules more than they are other rules, and some guys are very much students of the rule book, and it shows when they're working a game.
A 1-2 pitch to Davis. Up and in for ball 2. 2-2 the count now to E.J. Davis. Landon Heil, the right fielder, on deck for the Eagles. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for the Mules. 6 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Eagles. Make that 5 hits for the Eagles as well. The 2-2 pitch fouled off towards the third base dugout.
Fielded nicely by somebody on the rail.
They are paying attention even when they chirp. Good to know. Don't want someone getting hurt down there and not paying attention. Davis stays alive. 2-2 the count now with 1 out. No runners on base. Sobey from the windup. The 2-2 pitch. Davis grounds it out towards third. Cut off by Alfonson. Throws across the diamond just in time for the out. 5-3 on the putout for out number 2. And that brings up Landon Heil, the right fielder. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Was hit by a pitch in the first. Came around to score a run. And grounded out to the second baseman, Duffin, in the second inning. Steps in here with 2 outs and bases empty.
After that rough first inning, Sobey has done a much better job in the following now 3 innings after that, and has been able to keep the hitters off balance a little bit.
First pitch to Heil is in there for a called strike. 0-1 that count to Landon Heil. Reese Bell on deck. So the Eagles get to him. The 0-1 pitch to Landon Heil. And he hits it out between third and second. Alfonson fields it, throws across the diamond in time for out number 3. 5-3 on the putout. And the Eagles go in order here in the bottom of the 4th. 4 complete innings, 6-1 your score. Georgetown leads it over Alamo Heights. Back with more Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment.
Austin, Texas. Don't miss the Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Championships starting Wednesday, June 8th at UFCU Dish Fault Field in Austin, Texas, and the Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Ticket information and more can be found at uiltexas.org.
We go to the top of the 5th inning. Jacob Haddon on to pitch. First pitch to the center fielder. Gunter is outside for a ball. He squared around like he was about to try to lay down a bunt.
Seemed like it kind of altered Jacob's motion, too.
The 1-0 pitch. Misses outside for ball 2. Gunter 1 for 1 in the ball game. Singled back in the 3rd inning. It was erased at second base on a 6-4 play. The 0-2 pitch and the ball sent into left field. Down the left field line, Ty Klaus Keismore on the run, but the ball's going to land foul for a long strike. 2-1 the count. Ty was in full pursuit of that one as he motored across the field. 2-1 the count to the number 9 hitter in the Mule lineup, Corbin Gunter. Angulo and Sobey due up here in the top of the 5th for the Mules as well. The 2-1 pitch in there for a called strike. 2-2 now the count to Gunter.
Nice pitch. Hard to do anything with that one. Bottom half of the strike zone on the outside part of the plate.
2-2 pitch fouled over to the third base dugout. Coach Payne makes the error. He steps out of the dugout to field that one.
You are brutal on this coaching staff on that scorecard.
It's amazing how they've got this defense working so well. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the ball game for Jacob Haddon. What a pitch there to get Gunter to chase, and that'll bring up the top of the lineup, Bennett Angulo. Angulo, 0 for 2 on the night. A pop-up to second baseman Davis and a pop-up to the catcher Mazick. First pitch misses for a ball, 1-0 the count to Angulo. Haddon from the windup, the 1-0 pitch. Ball popped up on the right side. E.J. Davis scrambles over and makes the catch behind first base. Calls off Reese Bell. Good play there by E.J. Davis. P4 in the book. 4 out number 2, and that'll bring up the pitcher, James Sobey. He's 0 for 2 on the night. A fly out to left field in the first, and he reached on a fielder's choice in the third.
Sure would be nice if Jacob could get through this inning without putting anybody else on base.
The first pitch stays outside for ball 1. Edward Hart on deck for the Mules, should they get past Sobey. The 1-0 pitch. Sobey fouls it off down the first baseline, out of play, and the count evens up at 1-1.
No cars at risk.
Beautiful greenery down the first baseline. The parking lot is a ways away. The 1-1 pitch misses outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count now to James Sobey, the pitcher for the Mules. The 2-1 pitch misses low and outside for ball 3. And now a 3-1 count to James Sobey.
Jacob shaking off some frustration.
Senior pitcher back up on the mound, ready to go. The 3-1 pitch to Sobey. And a ball popped up on the right side. E.J. Davis will range around to it and make the catch. That had a lot of movement on it. But the Mules go quietly here in the top of the 5th. 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. 6-1 your score. Georgetown leads it over Alamo Heights. More Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-1. Georgetown leads it over Alamo Heights. And the 4, 5, and 6 hitters do up for the Eagles here in the bottom of the 5th. Reese Bell, Logan Smith, and Riley Leiniger. Sobey back on the mound. First pitch to Bell. The breaking pitch in there for strike 1. Bell 0 for 2 on the night. A fly out to center. Actually 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the first. And then a fly out to right field in the second. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch down in the turf for strike 2. 0-2 the count.
I think Reese would like another shot at that first pitch that he got, that hanging curveball. I think he was expecting a fastball, but that thing hung up over the plate.
The 0-2 pitch. Misses outside for ball 1. You almost expected there. Bell looked that bad on the 2 breaking balls that he would go right back to it. Sobey went to the fastball. Outside for a ball. 1-2 the count to Reese Bell. Bell back in from the right side. Sobey will now step off the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the first baseman, Reese Bell. Now, Sobey will call his catcher Robles out. This dugout does not let up. But as we've talked to the players throughout the season, their job when they're not in the ball game is to keep the rest of these players up and going. And they have been consistent in that whether up in a game or down in a game. And the energy and the camaraderie in this team is just fun to be a part of and watch.
And they're so loose.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Sobey from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. And Bell sends it down the left field line. It's curling towards the corner, and it's off the wall. Reese Bell's going to circle first. He's headed to second, and it's going to be a leadoff double for the big man as he slides in.
Wheels
Bell. Oh, there he goes. The arrow flies, and Bell leads off the inning. And you got to love it. It was a 1-2 count. He stayed in there and drove it down the left field line, off the left field wall for a leadoff double.
Just missed a home run because it hit at that. I can't read what that sign is, but it hit right at the top of that sign.
Good hit by Bell to lead things off, and in steps Logan Smith. He's 1 for 1 on the night, was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first, and then hit his first home run of the year, a solo tank in the third. Steps in here with no outs and a runner on second. The first pitch, he squares around a bunt and misses at it for strike 1.
He hit a home run earlier, and now Coach has him bunting.
Lay one down, big boy.
Yeah.
Get my runner over to third base with no outs. Bullpen back on call for the Mules. They've got action going down the first base line. Sobey comes set. Logan Smith back in. The 0-1 pitch to Logan Smith. Squares around a bunt. He bunts at it. And a pitch in the turf, and he misses it for strike 2. 0-2 the count. Logan Smith will step back in here. Now challenged with an 0-2 count. The runner down at second with no outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Eagles looking for a little more separation here. 6-1 your score. Now Logan will take a timeout.
We talked about how quickly the pitchers do and don't work. And Sobey has slowed his delivery down some, and I like it that the batters just get uncomfortable and call time.
Now Sobey comes set from the stretch. The 0-2 pitch to Logan Smith. Logan Smith puts it into play, out to second, Duffin up with it, his only play to first. And Logan Smith does his job. He moves the runner to third. On a ground out to the right side. 4-3 on the put out. 4 out number 1. And in steps the super sophomore, the designated hitter, Riley Leininger. Leininger 1 for 2 on the night. Walked in the first, scored a run, and then singled in the third and left stranded at second base. Steps in here with 1 out and a runner at third base. Sobey from the windup, the first pitch in the turf for ball 1. Eli Hellman on deck for the Eagles. One ball, no strikes to Leininger. The 1-0 pitch in there. 4 strike 1, 1-1 the count now.
And that fastball on the outside of the plate, low in the strike zone like that, it's so difficult to do anything with. It's a great pitch.
Leininger lets it go, and the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike, the 1-1 pitch. Sails high and outside for ball 2. 2-1 now the count. To the sophomore designated hitter, Riley Leininger. Back in from the left side, Sobey from the windup. The 2-1 pitch. Misses low and outside for ball 3. 3-1 now the count to Leininger.
Catcher's frustrated he didn't get that call. It's interesting, the catcher started setting up a lot farther from the plate now than he was earlier in the game.
3-1 the count to Riley Leininger. He steps off. Sobey steps off. Now back on the mound. The 3-1 pitch to Leininger. It sails over the head of Leininger, or over the batter. That's ball 4. Yeah, he goes down. The scoreboard had it wrong. That's cool. So a walk for Leininger, his second of the night. Now runners on the corners with 1 out. And that'll bring up Eli Hellman, the 4th walk of the night issued by Sobey. After the first pitch, it skipped in on the inside batter's box line for ball 1. It didn't go up on the board. That was the 4th ball to Leininger. The umpires will meet out in the field.
I don't know why. Never mind. You got a clicker in your hand. It counts.
Now the umpires will meet. So they agree. So Leininger down at first on the walk. So now runners on the corners with 1 out. And in steps Eli Hellman. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out to third in the first, but drove a run in on that ground out. Struck out swinging in the third. He'll step in here with 1 out, and runners on the corners. Eli, the sophomore shortstop, steps in from the right side. Leininger leads off first. Bell leads off third. Sobey back to the stretch. First pitch to Hellman. And he hits it out between short and third into left field. An RBI single for Eli Hellman. And the Eagle lead up to 6 now. 7-1. What a first pitch swinging base hit into left field. That's the 2nd RBI of the night for Eli Hellman. As he scores Reese Bell. So runners at first and second. The 7th hit of the night for the Eagles. And now Ty Klaus Geismore steps in. He's 2 for 2 on the night. He's got 2 singles, a stolen base. Steps in with one out and runners on first and second. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, and it gets past Robles. And here goes Leininger down to third, and he'll be thrown out there. No, he's safe. And the umpire was right there. I thought he was out. But now both runners advance on the wild pitch by Sobey. That's his third wild pitch of the ball game. And tonight, the base running mistakes, not. And here comes Coach Boyd.
While Coach Boyd's coming out, we'll mention the critics in the live chat. Taylor Reynolds said the clicker's at home. It's an indicator.
Thank you.
Shut up.
Coach Boyd arguing with the third base umpire about the call. The third base umpire was in position, Kelly, standing right there. I just thought the ball beat him. That doesn't mean the tag beats him.
Right.
And that umpire was standing right over the play. Leininger slid in and called safe. So now Klaus Keismore will step back up with a 1-0 count and runners on second and third with one out. And Coach Boyd not happy. He'll take the long walk back from the third base line all the way back to the dugout.
He's going back with what he went out there with. Nothing.
And Coach Boyd talking to Sobey. He's not happy. But your playoff in your season on the line here for the Mules. Back into the box is Klaus Keismore. The 1-0 count. Runners on second and third. Sobey back to the windup. The 1-0 pitch. And it's in the turf. Nice block there by Robles. 2-0 the count. Ty Klaus Keismore up to bat. Andon Petty on deck. 2-0 the count to the senior left fielder. The 2-0 pitch in the turf. Ball 3. Like Robles was more worried about Leininger and let the ball get away from him. Kind of crawled back towards the back of the home plate circle. Now they'll put him on. An intentional walk to Klaus Keismore to load the bases.
Andon coming up, he has increased his average since they moved him to that 9th spot in the order. So it has served him well, and he's had some timely hits. We could use one right here.
He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. It'd be a great spot for the senior center fielder as he has bases loaded and one out. Leininger at third, Hellman at second, Klaus Keismore at first. The first pitch from Sobey is on the inside corner for strike one. No balls and 1 strike to Andon Petty. Zachary Mazik on deck for the Eagles. Bases loaded for the Eagles here in the bottom of the 5th. Sobey comes set. The 0-1 pitch. And the breaking pitch misses for ball 1.
Well, that's a tough pitch to lay off of because it looks like it's right over the plate, and then at the end it falls off.
Good job there by Petty to lay off that one. 1-1 to count now. Petty with a big opportunity here with bases loaded and one out. The 1-1 pitch inside and low for ball 2. 2-1 the count. 7-1 your score. The Eagles 5 runs in the first, 1 in the third, and 1 in the 5th.
Folks watching on YouTube, don't click on the tender ads. That's garbage.
2-1 the count to Andon Petty. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. But it's called a foul ball. He fouled it off, so 2-2 the count. Andon Petty has the bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Eagles looking to put more on the board here. The bottom of the 5th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. Andon Petty back in from the right side. Sobey gets the pitch and comes set from the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. High for ball 3. Sobey reared back and let loose there.
He did.
That one sailed high. Not a bad 2-2 pitch there.
No.
You get someone to chase the high heat for a strikeout, and now you set yourself up in a better position with the 2 outs and the bases loaded. but instead Petty holds off, and now he's going to see a full count pitch with one out and the bases loaded. The payoff pitch, low and outside, ball 4, an RBI walk for Andon Petty. 8-1 your score as Leininger comes in to score the 8th run of the ball game.
All right, let's score 3 more and get out of here.
Eli Hellman down to second. And now the crowd getting going here for the Eagles. I think they have the same mindset that you do, Kelly. Zachary Mazik steps in here with one out and the bases loaded. Mazik 0 for 2 on the night. Walked in the first. Has 2 ground outs to the second baseman, Duffin. Steps in here with the bases loaded and 1 out. First pitch is low for a ball. Sixth walk of the night for Sobey. 3rd one of this inning. Sobey comes set. The 1-0 pitch to Mazik is outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The crowd packed in here tonight. What a turnout for game 2 of this bi-district playoff.
Great crowd tonight.
The 2-0 pitch, and it hits Mazik, an RBI hit by pitch. That 9th run of the ball game.
Well, and I think this tells you you've got a pitcher on the mound that's struggling now, giving up 9 runs, a bunch of walks, a couple of hit batters, and they just now have somebody warming up in the bullpen.
The 3rd batter hit, but that's going to be it for Sobey as here comes Coach Boyd and he points to the bullpen. So we'll see what the changes are for the Mules, and we'll be back. More Eagle Baseball and SHN in a moment.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
What does the 50th anniversary of Title IX mean? It means I'm valued, I'm empowered, I can do anything. It means I'll pave the way for every girl who plays high school sports in the future, just like every female student, coach, official, and administrator blaze the trail for me, because every student deserves the opportunity to play. Encourage girls you know to participate in Texas high school sports.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
E.J. Davis will step in here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. 9-1 your score, and the new pitcher for the Mules, number 10, Luke Butler, the senior. He'll step in, take over after 113 pitches by James Sobey. He leaves with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Rouse is getting beat by Canyon High School 7-0 in the bottom of the 6th.
First pitch called an inside strike on E.J. Davis. Davis 1 for 2 in the ballgame. Steps in here with the bases loaded. 3 runs across in the bottom of the 6th for the Eagles. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch. And a ball sent into center field. That's a base hit. That'll score 1. The runner around third, he's going to score safely. That's 2.
That's the ball game.
And that's a walk-off 2 RBI single by E.J. Davis. And your Eagles have won it 11-1. Hellman and Davis do the old chest bump. That is, we were talking about it. I was about to say, we got to be close to the run rule if we get a couple more runs. And a 2 RBI single by E.J. Davis.
Same score as the girls today.
11-1. The Georgetown program's putting in work to advance on in the playoffs. What a shot there as E.J. Davis singles into center field. A 2 RBI single by E.J. Davis. Scores Klaus Keismore and Andon Petty. And the Eagles rule the Mules 11-1 here in game number 2 to sweep the bi-district playoff. We'll take a timeout as Kelly heads down to the field to talk to Coach Vieira. The Georgetown Eagles advance on to the second round of the playoffs after a 2-game sweep over the Alamo Heights Mules. We'll take a quick timeout. Be back with more Eagle baseball in just a moment. back here live at the field, and we're about to go down to Kelly with E.J. Davis. Kelly?
Wally here with E.J. Davis. Drove in the game-winning runs tonight to run rule this. Talk about the performance tonight.
You know, Haddon really came out and pounded the box. You know, he trusted us, and we just did our job behind him. We scored runs for him. We got a nice little cushion. So all around, it was a really great win.
2 big wins. There's the belt. 2 big wins to run rule this off, get out of here 2-0 on this 3-game series. Just talk about the camaraderie on this team, man.
You know, the team, we're like family. Ever since we started, it's been like gel. We've been gluing together. We've been doing a bunch of stuff together. So just the camaraderie of the team has just been a lot of fun, and it just feels like home.
Well, EJ, congratulations, brother, on to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Got any shout-outs?
Shout out my parents, all my family back in Cali. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all.
All right, EJ, thanks, man. Wally, back to you. I'll grab Coach.
E.J. Davis, a 2 RBI walk-off single to run rule the Mules of Alamo Heights here in game number 2. As Kelly finds Coach Vieira to talk to him after the victory here over the Mules.
There we go. All right. We're here with Coach Vieira. Coach, congratulations sweeping the Mules out of the playoffs. Yeah. Talk about especially the offense tonight.
Yeah, the boys came in. We had a pretty good plan going in tonight. They were able to execute their situations that they wanted to at the right time, and that's a good arm over there. James Sobey, that's a good arm. He's got a 3-pitch mix. Kind of lost a little bit of control at the beginning there, and our boys did a good job capitalizing on that.
Well, and coming in, you know, we had conversations with some of the Alamo Heights people, and I'm sure they don't have that deep of a pitching staff. Was it your goal tonight to get to Sobey and get to the bullpen?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we kind of knew that those were their 2 big arms, and our goal is trying to get in the bullpen and see what we can make happen from there. Hey, that's a bad idea, bro. Kids, tell you what. Playing jump rope with a mic cord. Are you serious? But yeah, so we were trying to get in the bullpen the entire time. The boys did a great job of staying in the fight. And then obviously you get the 2 big innings where you score the crooked numbers. It always helps.
Talk about Jacob's job on the mound tonight.
Unreal. He's just a competitor, man. He's a competitor. He didn't have his best stuff tonight, and he still competed in the zone. Said he was going to make good pitches when he needed to. And of course, it always helps when you're pitching with a lead. So hats off to him for being able to throw his pitches where he wanted to, when he wanted to, and be able to get outs when he needed.
I had mentioned earlier in the broadcast that it didn't seem like Jacob had his best stuff, but he was still battling.
Yeah.
And knowing who he's got behind him out there in the field.
Yeah, that's a big help, right? And you know that you got 7 guys behind you that are going to help you out, and you got Zach behind the plate. It's a good defense, so good job by them.
Well, Coach, congratulations. We'll wait to hear who the next matchup is and dates and time for those games. So this blue, how about the crowd tonight?
Phenomenal job. The fans always show up. The Eagles have a good crowd. So appreciate these guys all showing up and being loud. And for those that are watching in at home, appreciate you guys.
We'll let you get back to it.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you, Wally.
Congratulations. Back to you, Wally.
What a job by the Georgetown Eagles. They are victorious in a 2-game sweep of the Mules of Alamo Heights. 3-0 last night and 11-1 here in a run rule in 5 innings. The winning RBIs knocked in on a walk-off single by the senior second baseman E.J. Davis. Single to center field, and he drives in Ty Klaus, Keismore, and Andon Petty, I believe, to win the ball game. 5 runs in the first, and they end it with 5 runs in the 5th to close out the scoring. So the Eagles advance in the playoffs to round number 2 after a 2-game sweep over Alamo Heights. We're going to take a timeout. As soon as we get Kelly back in here, we'll wrap it up and sign off for the weekend. You're listening to Eagle Baseball here on SHN Sports. Back here live at Eagle Field, where your Eagles are victorious in 5 innings, an 11-1 run rule of the Alamo Heights Mules to advance in the playoffs. 2 games to none, a 3-0 victory at the Mule Yard last night, and then they answer with an 11-1 run rule over the Mules live here tonight at Eagle Field. Kelly, a conversation there with Coach about Jacob Haddon didn't have his best stuff, but when he needed to execute pitches, he executed pitches. Your 2 top pitchers, and still one thing we can go back to. You haven't seen the bullpen of this team yet in the playoffs.
Well, and that's one of the things, whenever I said earlier in the game that Jacob didn't have his best stuff, I was a bit hesitant to say it because it can sound like I'm insulting what he's doing tonight, and it's not that at all. It's the exact opposite, because you really see what a pitcher's made of when he's not dealing his best, but he stays in there and battles and continues to battle and gets a complete game.
58 pitches over 5 innings, scattered 4 hits, allowed 1 run. It was earned. That was the solo home run by the DH Holden Carter back in the 2nd inning. Struck out 2 and hit 1 batter. But any night you can tell that one of your aces goes and throws 58 pitches in 5 innings and scatters 4 hits and gets an 11-1 victory, but didn't have his good stuff. Yeah. He didn't have his great stuff tonight. Right. That's something you can hang your hat on. That's what you've got to have when you run through the playoffs.
It is, and you see if you can get this kind of performance, because we won't have another game until next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, it won't be Thursday, they're testing. So probably Friday will be the next game. Your starters get to rest. They've got a week to rest, regroup, and get ready for the next.
And you couldn't ask for anything better.
Right.
Nick Silva threw under 100 pitches last night in a 7-inning battle. A game that was a 3-0 victory for the Eagles on the road, a good victory. Then they come home and answer the call, and we talked about it, and we can sit here and we can talk back and forth about families and people and everything. Things you overhear in crowds. These kids want to play baseball.
Right.
These families want their kids to do well. But overheard last night from one of the Mule fans was, there's no way this team can beat us in 2 games. I think they are thoroughly convinced they could be beat 10 times straight by this team if they had to be after what the Eagles put on as a performance tonight. 11-1 victory in 5 innings. E.J. Davis, a walk-off 2 RBI single to close it out in the bottom of the 5th. What a performance from your second baseman. He had 2 hits on the night. Went 2 for 4, I believe it was. I was looking at it here while you were down there. 2 for 3 on the night. He walked back in the 2nd inning, but then he had 2 singles and scored a run, had 2 RBIs on the walk-off single. The belt's being lauded over him while you interviewed him. Yeah. But then he's the first one to pass the torch. Hey, this team was just playing good baseball. Didn't have his best stuff, but he trusted his defense, and we stepped up and made plays when we needed to. The team aspect of this team is what is so catchy and so fun to watch into what they now are just painting as a try to make an attempt to run through the playoffs.
Yeah, you're in the playoffs, and you're right before the first pitch. Your guys are down there throwing a football.
and the one player acted like it was glued to his hand, stepped on the ball to get it out of his hand, and it's just that mentality, that laid back, but the grittiness that comes up. You put up 5 runs in the first, 1 in the 3rd, and then answer with 5 more in the 5th inning to close it out. More remarkable, what a night for Eagle sports. The girls go on the road to a neutral site in a 1-game winner takes all to advance to the 3rd round of the playoffs in the softball side of it, and the girls win 11-1. Your Eagles come home for game number 2 in their bi-district playoff, and they win 11-1. 2 run rule ball games, 2 identical scores. Just says a lot about the direction of these programs and where these coaches are taking them. But these players and the effort and the mentality that they have as the playoff season starts.
Georgetown 22, everybody else 2.
And what a night. You talk to Coach Boyd the first year, you end the year 15, 16-1, trying to figure out where this program is and where it's going to go as you lose a huge senior in Edward Hart that goes to Duke University, a player like Sobey. But then you have the youth. You have a Brooks Kieschnick Jr. that's a big upcoming first baseman. You have a catcher and a sophomore Robles that showed a lot of talent behind that plate.
Talented catcher behind that plate. And hats off to the Alamo Heights Mules. Great program. Class program. Coach came over, shook my hand as I was walking, and he said, "Hey, we appreciate what y'all are doing for high school sports." He goes, "I know you're the other team's broadcast." He goes, "But y'all do a great job." And just class act when your season has come to an end to say something like that. And so hats off to the Alamo Heights guys, and it looks like they got a bright future.
And it'll be fun to watch what Coach Boyd can do with this program. Just his first year, and a lot of things to take into heart and to mind and try to figure out who you have, what you have. And that's hard to do in 1 year when you come in and have one season to go.
Right.
And know that you have a couple of seniors that are leaving, going to the next level. You're going to lean on them and rely on them, but it can only take you so far.
Hey, I want to say thanks again to the Bearded Wonder for supplying some of our graphics. Helps us do everything we can to bring a good broadcast to you folks, and we really appreciate you listening in on YouTube tonight. We wouldn't be doing this if you folks weren't listening. Thanks a lot, guys.
We know Thursday night from Pokey Joe's Barbecue. Ashley was up here in the booth with us tonight to visit the marketing director for Pokey Joe's. We'll have the Coaches Show live from Pokey Joe's Barbecue Thursday night before the second round of the playoffs. We're going to expect that we will play on Friday, Saturday as most of the series go, if it is a 3-game series. And I think the coaches that all met in these 4 teams that could meet up all agreed to that in a 3-game series because of state testing and everything. You can't play on those days. So we'll have the Coaches Show live Thursday night with Coach Vieira and a couple of players. I have a feeling we might get a visit from Nick Silva, and we might get a visit from Jacob Haddon, and maybe a couple of the hitters who had great games. But you can pick from so many as the Eagles make a run of 2-0 against the Alamo Heights Mules to win the bi-district playoffs. Stay tuned to SHN Sports coverage of Eagle baseball through the playoffs. Myself and Kelly DeVoll will be here with the calls. We will keep you updated through Twitter. Look at Eagle Fight Never Dies Baseball, EFND Baseball on Twitter and on Facebook. And the Georgetown athletic program will keep that updated as well, the high school, Coach Vieira. So keep that out, and as soon as it comes out, we'll try to tweet that out as well and retweet it just to get the word out so this Eagle fan base can continue to show out like they did in this series. A big crowd last night on the road and another huge crowd here tonight at Eagle Field.
Great job, Wally. Enjoyed it.
Fun win tonight, 11-1. Your Eagles win it in a run rule fashion to take the bi-district round over the Alamo Heights Mules. 3-0 last night, 11-1 tonight. The Eagles are victorious. Thanks for joining us tonight live here on SHN. The next time we'll be on the air will be Thursday night for the Coaches Show at Pokey Joe's Barbecue. If you can't join us live, be online. Watch us on SHN coverage with Coach Jordan Vieira live from Pokey Joe's Barbecue. Have a good weekend. Remember, it doesn't cost you to be kind, and let's go out with no other than the fight song.